Hello everyone, thanks for watching our Revelation video again. As we're taking a few days now in preparation of our study of the book of Revelation and the revelation of the Antichrist and what that's going to look like, we're going to take a few days, we did yesterday and for the next few days, just looking at what Daniel said about the time of the Gentiles. Daniel was a prophet, remember, that was out of the nation of Israel, and that he was part of the captivity when the Jews have been carried away, and God's giving him a revelation. Daniel, there's coming a season of the Gentiles now. In yesterday's video, we saw that there was a great colossal statue, a head of gold, which was the Babylonian Empire, the arms of silver and shoulders, which is the Medo-Persian. And then there was the torso of bronze and the upper part of the legs, which was a sign of the Greek Empire. And then there was the bottom part of the torso, the feet, the lower legs, made of iron mixed with clay, both strong and vulnerable. That was the Roman Empire. So let's look at another vision that Daniel had. In Daniel, we read in chapter 7, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel saw a dream and visions in his mind as he lay on his bed. Then he wrote the dream down and told the following summary of it. Daniel said, I was looking in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea. And four great beasts were coming up from the sea, different from one another. The first was like a lion, but had the wings of an eagle. I kept looking until its wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the ground and set up on 2 feet like a man. A human mind also was given to it. And behold, another beast, the second one resembling a bear, and it was raised up on one side, and 3 ribs were in its mouth between its teeth. And they said this to it, arise, devour much meat. After this I kept looking, behold, another beast like a leopard, which had on its back 4 wings of a bird. The beast also had 4 heads, and a dominion was given to it. So let's look real quickly, because this is another revelation of the 4 empires that are going to be in existence until the coming of Christ. As we're looking at this right now, the first beast that Daniel saw was a lion. It was a lion that had the wings of an eagle. We see that with all that, it had the countenance of a man. And so we're seeing that the king of the beasts, the king of the birds of the air, the eagle, and also just the face of a man created in the image of God. You know, it's a picture of the Babylonian Empire, and that it was going to be like a lion. It was going to be fierce and strong and very quick and very able. The king of all the empires. Then the next one is a bear. And that bear has one shoulder higher than another. Why? Because this is, again, the Medo-Persian Empire. It compares to the statue that talked about the 2 shoulders. And so that this bear, we find out, is not like the king of the beasts, like the lion, but he's the second strongest animal to the nation of Israel. But he's very awkward and clumsy, and he wins just by brute force and by his size. And that's just an amazing picture of how Xerxes, the king of Persia, that when he went out, at one point when he was coming against the Greeks, he had 2,500,000 soldiers, plus another 2,005,000 that were following the soldiers to equip them and make them able to win. A force of 5 million people, this big old lumbering bear. And then we also found out that there were 3 kings that came and made an allegiance to try to stop him, and they were destroyed. And that's the picture of the 3 ribs that were in the bear's mouth. And Daniel saw that this was going to happen before it happened. Then we find out that there's a leopard, and this leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads. A leopard is already very fast. It's going to be a very speedy empire as it conquers. So the fastest animal that was known at that time, plus 4 wings, makes it even faster. And this is a beautiful picture, once again, of God saying there's going to be the Greek Empire that's coming. And under Alexander the Great, they were known by their speed and how swiftly they would conquer. They had the 4 wings, not of eagles, because eagles fly high. But the 4 wings of the word there is of a very common bird. And that's what that Alexander was known. He was known as a man who would win the battles in the valleys. And he would be a very quick and formidable opponent. And the 4 wings just would suggest to us that it would carry him from north, south, east, and west into the 4 points of the earth. Then after that, then let's read what Daniel saw. He saw a fourth beast, and he said this, after this I kept looking in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful, terrible, extremely strong, large iron teeth. It devoured and crushed and trampled down the remainder with its feet. And it was different from all the beasts that were about it, and it had 10 horns. While I was thinking about the 10 horns, behold, another horn, a little one, came up among them, and 3 of the previous horns were plucked out before it. And behold, this horn possessed eyes of human eyes and a mouth uttering great boasts. So here we have even just another amazing picture of this fourth beast, which is right towards the end. And out of that beast comes a horn. There's 10 horns, which reminds us of the 10 toes of the Roman Empire. Out of that coalition and the end of the Gentiles is going to come one horn, and he's going to be speaking and boasting of great things, and he's going to have the eyes of a man. This is a glimpse that Daniel had of the Antichrist, who was going to come out of the end of the times of the Gentiles, and he would boast of great things, and both of the words out of his mouth and of the way that he carried himself, he would win the hearts and minds of the people, but he would cause great trouble. So we'll be looking at that in the book of Revelation, the coming of the Antichrist. Daniel saw it as well.